From the Homestead Studios in Santa Clarita, California, this is a Headache Soul production. Welcome to Just the Tip-Sters, America's favorite true crime podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Morgan. With me today is my handsome and talented co-host, Joshua Amen Bevan.
Amen.
Because he's always got to have the last word.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I'm not wrong. I'm never, ever wrong.
Amen.
These nicknames are carefully curated.
Oh,
they are artisanally crafted and perfection for you, my friend.
Okay.
Old Amen Bevan.
Yeah. Well.
How's your week been, my friend? Brother Bevan, how's your week been?
Oh, it's brilliant. I'm at the end of a long week and now looking forward to a night of scariness.
Yeah, we're going to, what's it called? Halloween Horror Nights?
Fright Fest?
Fright Fest.
Yeah.
Six Flags Magic Mountain Fright Fest, and it's $8 million. And my good pal Joshua is making me pay it, and we're going. And I said the most important thing is, can I please hold your hand? Because when we went a few years ago, we too, grown ass adults, ran through the thing screaming and holding hands like two 12-year-old girls. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
I thought you would be like this big tough guy, and I was trying to hold in my like girly screams, but you were like, ee! You were like so much more girly than me, and I was like, I can like let my freak flag fly.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So we were freaks together.
Yeah. No, it's fun. It's more fun that way. I mean, just
being a freak.
What fun is it to be like, you can't scare me?
That's how Mark and my dog sitter Lisa were. We all went to the thing at Knott's Scary Farm, mm-hmm. and they were terrible to me. I mean, not on purpose. We would all three be walking through, and I would scream, and they it's like predators. The people dressed up sense the people that get scared, and they come at you and right in your face. Mark and Lisa would be like, and I'm like, it was. Right. I'm a terrible little girl.
No, I can. When I go with my boys, or especially when they were little, I can be stoic and help them and reassure them. Okay, all of that. But if I'm on my own, like I'm going to react.
Think of me as one of your boys today. Okay, tonight. I am one of your boys.
All right,
yeah, because I asked Joshua, I'm like, can I please hold your hand? And then he mimicked what he said, was putting his hand behind me, and it looked like he was swatting me.
Don't touch me.
Yeah, really. Don't get away from me. Do you have hand sanitizer? Yeah, I'm afraid.
I was miming that.
You're a bad mime.
Searching for your hand.
No, it did not look like you were searching. It looked like you were swatting me back away from you, and then you could run ahead of me. That's what it looked like. But so we're going in a group this evening, so it should be fun. That's probably more fun.
No,
so
it'll be good times.
Wonder if I should like take some trazodone before I go.
There's going to be a lot of different things
being taken.
Yeah. I'm personally, maybe I'll have extra caffeine or
I think
one
that's
of those.
Interesting. Yeah,
I'm not. I don't want to drink.
No, you want to be clear-headed.
Smoke.
Yeah, me too.
I can't, no.
I don't do either because I'm boring as fuck. Yeah. But I do me some Mountain Dew Kickstart Black Cherry, and I do me some Magic Mind.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. And I double dip.
Yeah.
I'm going to do an extra one tonight. So I don't think I'm going to need staying awake, something to help me stay awake, but it might help calm me down when I'm screaming and grabbing for your hand and you're swatting me away.
Yeah, keep your level.
I think I mentioned that I double dip on Tuesdays and Thursdays when I'm in class because I work all day. I take one in the morning with my Mountain Dew Kickstart, which I love very much. And then in the afternoon, I take one when I get home from work and feed Siren because then I have another like 4 hours of class. And I'm telling you, I don't want to fall asleep. Yeah. I don't want to put my head on my desk and cry. That's something different. But Magic Mind keeps me going. I am so madly in love with it, and I hope that you will check it out and fall in love with it too. I hope you'll consider getting a subscription with your promo code because it is worth it.
A subscription? That sounds kind of hard.
No, it isn't at all. With every subscription, thank you, Joshua, you get free shipping. You get your case of drinks delivered to you. They're a 2-ounce performance elixir. You get them delivered to your home, and you can cancel at any time, no questions asked. And it's all easily done online. Their customer service is terrific. You can start with a 15-bottle case or a 30-bottle case. I always get the 30, and I have now, a pretty good supply of the sleep elixir, which I will tell you, they are working on changing the flavor because I hate it. And it isn't just me, it's other people. I don't hate it. I just am not a fan.
It's not as delicious as the matcha.
No, the matcha flavor is, they call it slightly sweet, but it's all like natural. And it just, it actually tastes good. It makes you feel like you're drinking all of these vitamins and things good for your body, just like in a little quick shot. I love that it's a 2-ounce elixir bottle. The ease of taking it is amazing. The ease of the subscription is amazing. And I really, really, really hope that you will go to magicmind.com and put in the promo code TIPSIS20, TIPSIS 20, and you get 20% off, free delivery. I really hope you'll do that. That's the ease of the subscription that is, so helpful. It makes me feel like I can make it through the day. And then when I get home, the sleep elixir helps me, cruise through the night. It has become like an obsession. There's just no way I'm ever going to go without it again. And I know I told you that I was a customer before I was an ambassador. It's so nice being an ambassador. I mean, Joshua offered me a parking pass to Fright Fest, and I'm like, I don't need it. I am a Magic Mind ambassador. I'm going to park up on the median.
Right.
I'm going to park on top of other Fright Fest goers because I have all sorts of, liberties.
Of course.
As a Magic Mind ambassador. I'm just saying, ambassador.
Madam Ambassador.
MMM, Madam Magic Mind Ambassador. I'm the triple M's. I like it when you call me Madam. I like that. That's nice. Please go to magicmind.com and check out all of the reasons why you need a subscription to Magic Mind, because it is really one of the joys of my life now, and I'm not ever going to be without it. So I hope you'll take a chance and look at it. So here's this case this week that I didn't tell much. I never usually tell Joshua much about it. I want him, his authentic reactions, which he's brilliant at giving me. This is one that bothers me intensely the more I think about it, because it was just, a lot of times things happen to people. Let's be honest, for the most part, probably 80 to 90% of it, if someone loses their life, it's through someone they know. Yeah. It could be a ridiculous reason. It could be revenge, money, whatever. This was just the case of a young man walking with his friend. Oh. And he is so beautiful. His name is Michael Kelly. Oh. That's his mom and dad. Yeah. I will post this picture. And he is adopted. The story of his mom and dad is lovely. They grew up in Pacoima, and they stayed there. They met as young people, and they got married, and they had like 3 or 4 kids of their own. And they didn't think they were ready to be part of the foster program, but there was a big need. Okay. And Michael became their, ward, and then became their son. Wow. And he was this like beautiful kid. And it's a combination of wrong place, wrong time, and potentially wrong friend. No. But Michael was just this beautiful kid who was trying to make his way through life and work out, what he's going to do. And I mean, he wasn't doing anything wrong. He wasn't doing anything wrong or bad or, he just was living until he wasn't, because somebody you'll hear the story was terrible and selfish. So this is what bothers me. I have a good relationship with the LA County Sheriff's Department Homicide Bureau, and I do not have a good relationship with LAPD.
Oh,
and not just me. I don't understand their business model. I take classes with people who work in all different forms of law enforcement, some of them with LAPD, and others in the class are like, I can't get any information either. And I'm like, you can't? And you're in
the
law enforcement? No. In other, let's say Ventura County.
Got it.
And they get no records from LAPD. It's a combination of, we need to work together.
Yeah.
So what do you think the opportunities of me would be? I'm a podcast host.
Oh, the opportunity of giving you the information and putting it out there.
Yeah.
That's all that the press person would want. Like, you are amplifying their voice of, of getting the tips in, of getting.
And they say, we need your help. Actually, the quote was,
oh, geez.
Quote, people talk. If you get it out there, people will talk.
Yeah.
And guess what? Can't get a call back. Can't get an email back.
Oh.
Hey, I'm putting it out there. I'm the lead detective. And he is very acquainted with the case and he has not forgotten it. This was 2019. And this is the part that hurts so bad. There was 52 homicides in the San Fernando Valley in 2019. Only Michael Kelly's is unsolved.
Wow.
Only.
That's the only one.
The only one. And honestly, the most beautifully written thing I've seen is by a reporter for the Los Angeles Times named Josh Kane. And he is a kind of a beautiful, poetic and somewhat dramatic writer, but he does a beautiful job in this article. It's almost like it's like watching a film, but you're reading the words. He is such a good writer. You can see it in your head, and I'm not very visual. So I'm just going to read some of the things from because his research and his details are magnificent. He's put them together, beautifully. But February 15th, 2019, a dark colored sedan cruises north on Van Nuys Boulevard. It cuts through row after row of squat suburban houses in the San Fernando Valley's northeast corner. It's dense and historic Pacoima, which is one of the oldest neighborhoods in Los Angeles. It's got a lot of deeply rooted Hispanic culture. The driver of the sedan, in this black sedan, drifts toward Glen Oaks Boulevard. Two men are walking across Van Nuys Boulevard ahead of him. It's 8 p.m. on a Friday, cold, rainy night, and there are still plenty of people inside the stores of the Van Glen Center. It's an aging strip mall in the corner. Okay. Some are eating tacos. Some are shopping at the T-Mobile. There's a tax preparation business. It's still busy at 8 p.m. The car in the leftmost lane suddenly swoops all the way to the right, so it's hugging the curb. The driver makes a right onto Glen Oaks. The two men are now on the sidewalk, just a few feet from the car. The passenger side window rolls down and a .40 caliber handgun is pointed at them. Oh, no. The man in the car says, "Do you bang?" Michael Kelly says the wrong thing because there's no right answer. 18-year-old Michael Kelly says no. The man squeezes the trigger and fires 5 times. Kelly dives over the center row of a low concrete wall. That is when he is struck. His friend runs. Bullets rip through the air. One hits a nail salon. One hits a seafood restaurant. Customers flee. The sedan peels away. Michael Kelly is bleeding, a gunshot wound in his side. His friend is hit, but no one has seen the car since, or at least no one has told the police that they have seen it. No one seems to know who killed Michael Kelly. The entire shooting just lasted a few seconds. And it happened right beneath a surveillance camera that the LAPD had installed on top of a 50-foot pole that holds a traffic signal at the intersection. And yet there's no footage of the shooting because everything happened near the base of the pole, right in the camera's blind spot.
Oh.
Yeah. There's footage of Kelly and his friend getting off the bus. Then there's footage of them walking across the street. The sedan can be seen approaching the intersection, and then footage shows it fleeing.
Okay.
Rain from the night left the area misty. It's hard to get, evidence. Yeah. No one, including the FBI, has been able to get a license plate for that car, and they have looked and looked and looked at that video, tried to enhance it with NASA.
NASA enhance.
Yeah.
So that was going to be my first question. Well, I mean,
because you're smart.
Who's the car registered to?
But
let's interview him.
I do have to say, LAPD has done a good job with this, that they've asked for outside help. Okay. If the FBI can't figure out a way to find the,
Right.
Plenty of people saw the killing and its aftermath. At least one person tended to Michael Kelly before paramedics arrived. Detective Navarro from LAPD, he works in the Valley Division of the Homicide Bureau. There were definitely people there. A witness was actually parked in the parking lot facing Van Nuys. He saw Michael Kelly jump over the wall. He jumped right in front of her car.
Okay.
She was parked and he jumped over that low wall, landed right in front of her car.
Wow.
Died right there.
God.
She saw the muzzle flash, said Navarro. She sees a black car. She ducks down. She's freaking out. In 2019, that entire division of LAPD's division, 52 people were victims of a homicide. Besides the Kelly case, the Valley detectives say all the rest have been solved.
Wow.
All of the rest of the cases from 1 year have been solved, except for Michael Kelly's.
Wow.
Detective even solved a few from the previous year, sending their clearance rate, the number police use to track how many crimes are getting off their desk, to 100% in 2019 because they got solved a couple from 2018. But Michael Kelly's is still unsolved.
Got it.
I know. Yeah, in 2020, the solve rate was about 50%.
Okay.
And there were 45 homicides 2020.
Yeah. I mean, 50% seems so low in this day and age. I mean, with our technology and yeah.
And I know you know this. I have not heard about many cases like this any longer where a car pulls up and says, like, what colors do you wear?
Right.
Where are you from?
Yeah.
Are you a banger?
Right. And I don't know the culture enough to know what colors you are forbidden in Pacoima or whatever.
Me either.
Like that kind of that also I would wonder.
Right.
What are they wearing?
Right.
Did they happen to be wearing, these are just regular kids.
Right.
But did they happen to be wearing, a certain color?
Right.
That isn't or a certain hat or a certain bandana or whatever,
right? Maybe out of the back of your pocket or something. I mean, Michael Kelly is 18 years old, had such a rough start to life, adopted by these amazing people who love him, and they're tenacious. I will be honest with you, his parents are phenomenal, but here's the shitty part: the friend he was walking with was in a gang.
Okay, so it wasn't a... So what gang is the friend in, and are there rivals around?
Right.
What's that
Answers like? Are not coming quickly.
Okay.
This is the thing that bothers me, is that the detectives from LAPD Homicide Bureau ask for help and ask for help and ask for help. And I was whining to Joshua before we started recording. I tried so hard to get a hold of Detective Navarro, and I went to almost stalker lengths to get to get information on him. And I checked and rechecked the phone number, and it is the right one. I checked and rechecked the email address, and it is the right one. And it's, not even like, hey, I don't have time right now. Can I talk to you later? Or no, it's the LAPD. We release nothing and you get nothing.
Sure.
I haven't, just like not even a response.
Or the copy paste FOIA
that's
request
exactly
form
it.
or whatever.
That's exactly what that's so brilliant that you know that. When I first started the podcast, I am the person that asks for permission, not forgiveness, for most things.
Right.
And I like to start with law enforcement or the family.
Yeah.
Michael Kelly's family is so broken, I do not want to bother them. Yeah. That is my theory. I don't mind bothering detectives.
Sure.
Especially detectives who come out in the press and say, people talk. Right. We need people to talk. Right. We need your information. And then shut down any kind of way to connect with them.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't mind bothering. And sometimes I've been, ignored completely. And sometimes I've been a pest. And sometimes it's worked out. Not with LAPD. LAPD is, I don't understand. I do not understand.
Yeah. Yeah. Because why say that?
Right. Why come out and say,
invite it?
People talk. People in the valley talk. I mean, okay. So detectives attribute their success in part to, solving cases to the residents who live in Pacoima, who compared with other parts of the city where gang violence is, a bigger problem, they tend to provide information more freely. Yeah. This area, Detective Mark O'Donnell, who is the leader of the homicide bureau that Detective Navarro works at, says people talk in the valley.
Yeah.
People talk in the valley.
Are you going to listen?
Yeah. Will you answer the phone?
Yeah.
Will you accept an email?
Sure.
To help with Kelly's case, the LAPD has offered a $50,000 reward leading to information of the arrest and conviction. Lieutenant Jim Gavin had an August press conference to drum up witnesses concerning the murder of Michael Kelly and two other people, actually. He insisted Kelly was not a member of a gang. Detectives still don't know if his killing was a case of mistaken identity because he was walking with his friend who was a member of a gang.
Right.
I don't know, Navarro said. Did they recognize his friend from someplace else? That's one of the big questions.
Yeah, recognize his friend and then mix him up with somebody else who's in that gang.
Right. One of the things you had pointed out earlier is what were they wearing? Detective Navarro said, I think it's likely that whoever did this recognized Michael Kelly's friend. And Michael was wearing a San Francisco 49ers hat. Mm-hmm. There's one of the gangs in the Pacoima area that uses the 49ers symbol as their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another unlucky break in the case is that the detectives have not been able to match the bullets fired to any other gun. Navarro said the data obtained from the forensic test of the bullet fragments was uploaded to a national database. There was no match.
Yeah.
So Michael Kelly was adopted when he was an infant. His initial last name was Gamboa, and he finally switched to his family name of Kelly. His adoptive parents homeschooled him for most of their life, but his final year, he was enrolled in a public magnet school. He met friends he'd never met before, and there were friends that were part of the wrong crowd. Randall and Ronell Kelly are sitting in their patio on their property, and the weather in the valley has been hot. There's a light breeze in the air. They're just miles from where they both grew up in Pacoima. It's now called San Fernando Gardens, the valley's only public housing project, which sits next to a park. We called ourselves park rats, Randall Kelly said.
Yeah.
Both of the families eventually moved out and bought houses in the neighborhoods immediately surrounding the projects before moving to Lakeview Terrace. Largely, both have lived in the Northeast Valley their entire lives and both grew up with large families. Their mothers knew each other, and their siblings were frequent guests at each other's houses. They got married in 1989.
Oh.
They have 2 other children that are both now adults. Foster care was not something they were interested in, but as soon as they began researching the system, they contacted foster agencies, and then they started getting calls. For some reason, they offered us kids right away.
Wow.
Michael and his sister have 6 other siblings, all of who went through the LA County foster system, but also they've all stayed in contact.
Oh, beautiful.
From an early age, Michael was an athlete. He was such a sports kid, Ronell Kelly said. He was good at anything and everything: baseball, basketball, golf, football. He could swing a golf club at age 2. He was a pretty impressive kid.
Wow.
Randall Kelly said he was really awesome at volleyball. He loved to fish. He loved to cook. And Randall said he could make a mean smoothie.
Cute.
He would just put all kinds of stuff in and it would come out great.
Oh.
The Kellys started homeschooling their kids around the time they adopted Michael. I know what high school was like, and it was only getting worse at the time. You can't be exposed to a lot of awful things, and then you don't want your kids to know about that.
Right.
Michael was homeschooled until the 12th grade, and then he went to the Sylmar Biotech Health Academy. Upon graduating, he and his sister from birth agreed to enlist in the U.S. Marine Corps. He was sent to Camp Pendleton for boot camp. About 6 weeks in, Michael developed an ulcer that he had had as a child, and he was medically discharged, and it crushed him. This sudden exit from the Marine Corps left him with little direction. He had tried several different odd jobs. He worked part-time at golf courses, at a small real estate business. He delivered meat for a company in downtown LA, and he had just landed an apprenticeship with a plumber. He was considering taking college courses so he could re-enlist in the Marines, but this time as an officer.
As an officer.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah. Wow.
The Kellys were on vacation the night of the shooting. They got a call from Michael's girlfriend telling him what happened. It was Saturday morning our time. She was like, Mike's been shot. Mike's dead. They made arrangements from their hotel room. We stayed there and we planned a funeral from a half a world away.
Oh, God.
There's still so much that the detectives assigned to Michael Kelly's case want to know. It wasn't a red Camaro. It was a black sedan, says Detective Navarro. It would be really good to identify the car. We have to identify who pulled the trigger. Getting the car would be a clue to getting that person. They don't know for sure how many people were inside the car. Evidence seems to point to 2, a driver and the passenger who fired the gun. All 5 bullet casings were found in the street, indicating that the passenger leaned out the car's right window, extended the gun, and fired all the shots that way. The bullet that hit Michael struck his side, then traveled through his chest and punctured one of his lungs. He died right there in the parking lot.
Oh, man.
Detective Navarro and other detectives interviewed Kelly's friend in the hospital. They brought in an artist to draw a sketch of the gunman, but the only description the friend gave was he was Hispanic.
Okay.
The family is waiting for a conclusion. They don't expect a break in the case anytime soon. They hope someone will come forward and identify who killed their son.
Yeah.
I think we're waiting for a conclusion, and I think we'll always be waiting for a conclusion. Michael's funeral was at their Baptist church that they attend. Michael Kelly has worked for the city's Parks and Rec department for more than 3 decades, and he just served as a neighborhood council person for years. He has many ties in the community, especially to the youth who make up the city's parks.
This is the father.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
30 years of the Parks and Rec department, knows all the kids in the area, and somebody can't come forward and say, I know who killed your son.
Yeah, wow.
Randall Kelly says, people talk, people know things. In the meantime, Ronell Kelly says, I have forgiven the person who did this. I still want the gunman to be caught, We don't want anyone else to die senselessly.
Yeah.
She said their faith is helping the family heal. We believe Micheal is in heaven. We believe that. So when I post this picture of this sweet young man, you're going to see how beautiful he is. Mm-hmm. Just the sweetest looking kid. The pain in his parents' faces it's heartbreaking, and they are being so strong and standing up and holding a picture of their son and talking about him and saying somebody knows. They are literally doing the job of the detectives. And I'm sure the detectives wanted them because it's so personal.
Right.
It's such a beautiful family, that they deserve the answers. And the thing that's so heartbreaking is there has to be more than one person that knows who did this.
For sure.
And here we are 5 years later. The only unsolved case from the entire year of 2019. And beautiful Micheal Kelly was walking on the street with a friend who was in a gang wearing a San Francisco 49ers hat. That was his crime.
Yeah.
That was his crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. You got to figure if it's a gang thing. I mean, it's possible that it's not, but it sounds.
That sounds like a gang initiation.
Yeah.
You have to shoot and kill someone to get into the gang.
Right? Yeah. That's, and, there's one, and, or pull over. And
what would be the right answer? Do you bang? If you say yes, they'll shoot you. And if you say no, they shoot you. There's no right answer.
No, I mean, I think the only moment there is the machismo of, yeah, and fuck you.
Right. Well, but he said no.
Right.
No, I'm not.
Right. No,
I guess there's no answer. Maybe just dive to the ground. I don't know. I've never been faced with that. I can't imagine. It's all in a split second.
Yeah. I can't imagine. Yeah. No, that's, yeah.
Everyone's life changes in a second.
For sure. But okay. So there's a driver and a passenger.
Mm-hmm. A dark sedan.
In a dark sedan. It's
a rainy February,
and it's this guy's initiation or this guy's repentance for doing something wrong in the crew or whatever.
Right.
And so you got to figure the two of them, and then everybody in their crew knows.
Right.
And everybody in the other crew, in the friends, and then who let it slip to a girlfriend or, just other hang-arounds at a party, they're all hanging out and, they pull up and congratulate you or whatever. And who's all hanging around then. There's a lot of people who have some knowledge of what went on. Yeah.
I think that's really true. More than a few people.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. These things make me angry on so many levels. People obviously know.
Right.
I love that everybody, his family has deep roots in that area. His parents grew up there, didn't move far away. His father's worked for Parks and Rec for 3 decades. Who knows the people in the area, but somebody who's boots on the ground. Right. Trying to improve parks and set up recreation centers for kids. I mean, combined with the LAPD who is doing the, push me, pull you. Hey, we need help. Hey, we're not going to answer any sort of requests for. Yeah. This is the frustration of this case more than probably most we've covered. Anyone whose life is taken from them is, wrong. You don't get to take someone else's life. I don't care who you are. Right. We can all understand something like self-defense. We can't understand rage or jealousy or money or sex or, but walking on the street at the wrong time because an asshole needs to up their notch of people they've killed, or, as Joshua said, atone for something they did wrong, or be initiated into.
There's in the culture, there's all kinds of rules and protocols and
soldiers.
Absolutely. So, and I totally understand the not wanting to cooperate with law enforcement. I get the fuck the police mentality.
Yeah, but they have, like an anonymous tip line.
And this is the son of the parks guy.
Right.
This is the guy who runs the programs that your little brothers are hanging out in the park. Like
the sweet kid who's joined the military, gets a medical discharge because his guts are all torn up from an ulcer. Wanders around. I'm going to go to school so I can go back in as an officer. Right. I mean, this is not a bad kid. No.
So fuck the police, but call the tip line.
Right. There you go. Maybe that should be the motto of this podcast. Except no, not fuck the police. That would be the motto of Joshua's podcast. Fuck the police, but call the tip line. That's going to be our side podcast where you host it and I'm your co-host going, I don't think the police should be fucked. I don't think fuck the police is the right attitude, Joshua, but call the tip line. Yeah. So they do have a tip line, but there is in my mind, a better way. You can, call them directly, which I will give you Detective Navarro's number. And again, I checked and go straight to his voicemail. And he doesn't answer. So, or emails. So that's the part that is the most frustrating for me is that, Yeah. Okay, so I am going to give you the Valley Homicide Bureau number. And in the show notes, I'm going to put Detective Navarro's direct line. Not that, you need to call him directly, but if you want to, you can call and say, hey, why don't you get back out there and do your job? Right. And I'm not saying he hasn't done his job. I know he has, beat the pavement. Sure. I don't know why they wouldn't return a call. I will tell you, I try, when I say I ask for permission first from law enforcement, not forgiveness, I start by saying, look, I get it. You don't want to, look, you're LAPD. I've had many attempts, and I know you're probably not going to return this call. Right. But I'm going to tell you, I would like to start with you because you have the facts. John Kane from the Los Angeles Times wrote a beautiful article and made you look good, but I understand you don't really answer things. So you're going to go tell me to pound sand, but I'm still going to ask you, and I am also going to email you. I'm letting you know right now. So I host this podcast, and I would love to be of help because Michael's case touched me so deeply, I couldn't stop thinking of it for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So let's just say you're within the sound of my voice, and let's just say you know something, anything at all, something that you might think of as small, but could be huge. Let's just say you might know something about what happened to Michael on February 15th, a rainy Friday night in 2019, when he was walking across the street with a friend. And if you have any information on the unsolved homicide of Michael Kelly, please call the Valley Homicide Bureau at 818-374-9550. That's 818-374-9550. And if you have a tip on a missing person or an unsolved homicide, or just want to suggest a case, you can always give us a call at 832-Tipster. That's 832-847-7837. You can always email us at jttipsters@gmail.com. You can find us on any of the social media platforms, just the Tipsters Facebook page, JT Tipsters on Instagram, JT Tipsters Pod on Twitter, and more cowbell.
If you would like to support this podcast and get early access and other cool murderous swag, go to patreon.com/justthetipsters.